Not the
I will call the meeting of the North Hero Planning Commission to order on January 27th, 2026. Any adjustments to the agenda? Hearing none, we'll move on. Approval of the minutes of our last meeting, which was on November 25th.
I have copies if anyone needs them.
I make a motion to approve them as written.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay.
Come on.
I wasn't here to approve.
Okay. You're gonna abstain.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, fair enough. Okay, no correspondence this time. Visitors, Luke from NRPC, and we will get to him momentarily. Just a couple of quick, unfinished business. Anything new from, I guess, either of you two on the possibility of joining NRPC?
I'm not gonna be able to do it.
Okay, and you've got a conflict schedule wise.
You don't wanna do it. No. No, I don't. We get into detail of why, but no.
And Luke can probably give you all the reasons why you should be, you know, what
Yeah.
a great organization it is. And okay, that's why, so I'll take that off the agenda and we'll do an appeal some other way. And then just quick update, and I sent out an email a week or two ago, our latest development regulation updates have been approved by the select board. They take effect on February 9th, I think, 21 days after the meeting. And I guess the big thing, and Danny, you and I have to get together and actually incorporate those changes into the master. Are you available tomorrow to start thinking about that?
Yes,
Okay, I'll stop by the office and.
yes.
So I guess that's it for unfinished business. So we received our grant. We're ready to start on updating our town plan. And I think at this point, I'll turn it over to Luke. I'm not sure what you're planning to go through today, Luke. One thing I'm hoping that we will do, it's up to the select board to recommend the contract with NRPC, but I'm hoping this group will be in a position to recommend to the select board that we sign it. So that's one thing I want to get done tonight. And I hope you're going to talk about the big picture of town plans and what's got to be included and what the process is going to be and what we can expect in the months ahead. So I'll let you take it over from there, Luke.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. So, yeah, I sent the contract in advance, I think. It's a pretty standard contract that we use for our municipal planning grants that fund town plan updates. So a lot of it is based off of information that was in the municipal planning grant application. So the budget and things like that were all proposed in the application that got approved for the grant. So since North Hero selected NRPC as the municipal agent, that's an option available to rural towns under a certain population threshold. So basically, what that means is that the project doesn't go out to bid, and you can sort of not do that whole process and just have NRPC be the ones responsible for the update. And let me see. I guess in terms of big picture, I mean, the first step is signing the contract, and then once that's done, we can have sort of a kickoff meeting where we talk about more detailed schedule, sort of planning out the outreach, which will be the first step before the drafting happens. Deciding whether to do a survey or a workshop or tabling at community events, and sort of plotting it out based on that. And updating a town plan with a bigger scope like this, funded through municipal planning grant, it's usually a process that can take around like 8 months to a year sometimes, depending on the schedule and how fast-paced everything is. And I think your current plan doesn't expire until March of 2028. So we do have a lot of time. The grant funds don't expire until the end of 2027. So we're looking at least like 2 years to do this project. So like depending on when you want to get started, we can get started, but it's definitely not like a pressing time sensitive thing that you're like running up on the deadline of your municipal plan expiring.
Understood that we do have a generous amount of time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, okay, so like I said, the first thing is get the contract signed, so, and let's talk about that right now.
Yep.
Could I have a motion that we recommend that the select board sign the contract with NRPC?
Have we seen the contract?
Yeah, it's in,
It's right in,
Danielle put a link.
yeah, it's right
Yeah.
behind,
It's about 600 pages, so.
I also
yeah, I know,
have
it's a long packet tonight.
a hard copy if you want to.
It was.
Oh, yeah, actually.
I can also.
Here.
What she sent us, and that was, the email that she sent us, there was a link on that.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, and if there's any specific questions about the contract, I'm happy to answer those too.
but I'm looking at one provision here. In the event that we needed an extension, we could request an extension, even though I don't think we will, because this is pretty liberal in terms of amount of time, but you could request an extension.
Um, let's see.
I'm looking at G here.
Yeah.
Oh, no, on H. Reasonable extensions of time for completion may be granted in writing by the town if the regional commission can demonstrate that it was unavoidably delayed by circumstances. I mean, it's hard to predict what, but I mean, right now we have till, what's the final date that we would have to complete this process?
So it'd be until December 31st, 2027. So
Okay, which is said right in here, okay. What did you say, 2028, though? Did you say something?
That's when our town plan's gotta be renewed by.
Oh, okay.
yeah, your
So-
plan expires in 2028. So the constraint is the grant funds rather than the town plan expiring.
Okay,
basically.
and if we needed to continue, we could always do that. Even
yeah.
though the funds.
Well, there's the contract, but then there's also our municipal planning grant agreement. I think that has probably a hard end date of the December
That's-
31st,
yeah.
2027,
Mhm.
so. So I
Okay,
think we better focus on that. and just
Okay,
making sure
all right.
we get done by then.
Yeah.
I guess my question is on I've talked to Andy about this a little bit, on the public outreach. We
Mhm.
might want to do something a little bit differently or in addition to what you have planned. How does that affect the contract?
And just to back up just a bit, Luke, Pat and her husband have extensive experience in doing public outreach efforts and surveys, and so they both would like to be involved in this, so.
Yeah. So it's definitely not like the scope of work and everything is sort of an outline to sort of break down for budgetary purposes, like what the different components of the project are, but it can definitely sort of change and evolve. It's not the specific outreach approach is not a binding part of the contract. And the same goes for the municipal planning grant, like what you write in your municipal planning grant application to get the funds. It's understood that when you're going through the process, you might decide on a slightly different outreach approach, and that is certainly not a problem.
Yeah, that's good to know there's some flexibility there, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
as long as the outreach is being done somehow. Yeah,
Well, I think we're all serious about wanting to see that done, so,
yeah.
Okay. That was my only question. Thank you.
okay.
Mhm.
All right, so do I have a motion to recommend that the select board sign this contract?
Sure, I make the recommendation that we have the select board sign this contract.
Okay,
I'll second it.
okay. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
I-
Aye.
Aye.
So I think the next select board meeting is Monday, right? So, I will make sure that gets on the agenda. Okay, so again, let's, just big,
Well, they have a problem with signing.
oh, I know.
And you never know.
But yeah, no, I'm sure they will not have a problem signing this. They had to sign the, grant agreement, so
Right,
this kind of goes along with that. So Luke, again, before we really get into the nitty gritty, and maybe that starts, next month at our meeting, but just explain to us, some of the big picture things we need to think of. For example, you sent me, and it's actually part of our packet, maybe you want to call this up, it's the page 28 of the packet. Required elements of municipal plans, and it's pretty specific about all the different things that we need to consider in the town plan. And
Yep.
it doesn't sound to me like there's a lot of flexibility in this, that these are the things that we do need to,
What page is that, and?
28 to 33 of the packet, yeah,
And that's out of the statute, this Vermont State
Yeah.
Statute 24.
yeah.
Yeah, so these are the statutory requirements to have your plan regionally approved after you adopt it. So when we're writing plans, we're basically looking at these standards and making sure that the plan includes all of them and complies with all of them. And I, since you already have a town plan that was adopted, 8 years ago, these requirements haven't changed a lot in the last 8 years. There are a few new requirements that we'll have to make sure that your plan accounts for, but other than that, the existing plan should be a strong basis that complies with all of these. So we're basically just going to be looking at the new requirements that were added in the last 8 years and updating your plan.
Yeah,
So-
I know, energy policy is one thing that, is new that we didn't have to, address before. But if you can just kind of quickly scroll through this, Danny, a statement of objectives, land use plan, I think we've got a good start on that. I know the Regional Planning Commission's done a lot of work on that too. Transportation plan, I don't know what kind of a transportation plan. we're
Well,
gonna have to go through.
it's in our existing. plan.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
because we
but-
had to address it.
Yeah.
But I just so people, utility and facility plan, statement of policies on the preservation of rare and irreplaceable natural areas. Educational facilities plan, that's gonna be tough when we don't even have a school anymore.
Yeah, but we have regional.
Yeah, we do have region,
Regional
yeah,
schools.
and then, number 9, the energy plan, that's new. And then 10, that's a biggie there, housing element that shall include a recommended program for addressing low and moderate income persons' housing needs as identified by the Regional Planning Commission, blah, blah, blah. We've got a lot of things working against us in North Hero. As far as trying to promote, low and moderate income people being able to afford to live here. Just something we're gonna have to address as we go through this. Housing costs are very expensive. Our taxes keep going up through the roof.
That's for a long period.
Well, but I think it's even worse here in North Hero.
And the fact that we don't have an elementary school.
We don't have an elementary
Would be-
school.
And that doesn't affect housing prices, but it certainly affects.
As far as attracting young families.
Young families.
Yeah.
why
Right.
would they-
Okay, so let's, economic development to describe, I'm looking at number 11, present economic conditions. Yeah, I think a lot of that we have from the current regional plan. A lot of that information is there. Flood resilience plan, was that, in the old one? Or is that?
There's something on it, but I don't know if it's as specific as this.
Yeah, but regarding that, we have had a committee working on updating our emergency management plan, and it's in its final phases right now, and I think it's ready to go to the state for final review, so we have a head start
Yeah,
on
yeah, we
that.
do.
Okay, let's see. Maps.
Population characteristics. And distribution, including income and employment.
Yeah.
Well, again, I think a lot of that information is pretty
You-
well
You can
available.
get some of that on, census,
The census
The
data.
the recent census.
but it may
Yeah.
not particularly up to date.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I've been looking in
Yeah,
2023 is on a zip code basis is about as detailed.
Yeah, all
Huh.
depends on who fills it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
well,
whatever there is, it doesn't, I don't think it's more recent than 20 on a zip code basis, but maybe you have access to.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
there's a
Yeah,
lot of-
we usually use a mix of like census and American Community Survey, and then for the employment data,
Right,
there's
yeah.
there's
That's
some information available from the Vermont Department of Labor too. That's more specific to towns and usually more up to date. And yeah, definitely like in working with communities that have a small population, like there's definitely a limitation in using some of those data sources. But you can sort of qualify that and work with the best available data that you have and understand that it might not be um, completely accurate for,
or up to date, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just keep scrolling through this. I think we've hit the high points, for the swap, okay. Yeah, maintain the historical settlement pattern. I don't think we're gonna have an issue with that. Okay. Next bullet point, to provide a strong and diverse economy. Fair enough. Broaden access to educational and vocational training opportunities. Again, that's gonna be a little tough here, but provide a safe, convenient, economic, and energy efficient transportation system. Yep.
We cancel the air.
That's hard to do.
Yeah, sure is, yeah.
So Luke, this plan in theory is going to go in effect in 2028. And it's what, for an 8-year span? Is that
Yeah.
what we're projecting? Okay, so, yeah, so we really do need to get a good sense of who's in this community.
Yeah.
And who is gonna be in it, in the next 8 years, how that's
Yeah.
gonna look, what that's gonna look like. So we've got a pretty sizable percentage of, second homeowners here.
Mhm.
That we have to consider in the equation here.
And we don't even, according to Corinne, that's a very difficult, that's very difficult information to capture.
To know exactly who's permanent.
Right, because a lot of people might have this as their primary residence, but they're here,
Yeah,
very
right.
minimal time,
Yeah.
and they're somewhere else.
Yeah,
So, for whatever that's worth,
Yeah,
because I was asking her about
you
that.
can look at property value and those kind of things,
Right.
very easily, and those tell you a lot, in terms of.
Right.
And age, I don't know if we
Yeah,
can
no,
get that.
the
Yeah.
American community, I just been working
Yeah.
on that for another project, and it gives you it gives you distribution of housing values, of age of population.
Yeah.
There's quite, size of homes.
Yeah,
yeah,
and
there's a
all
lot
that.
of,
There's quite a lot there,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
again, it's 2023. It's
Yeah.
not even 2025, and it certainly
yeah.
doesn't look forward.
Do you remember in the last plan, that you were involved in? Did you try to capture information from that group of people, the seasonal people?
Yeah, if the town is aware that there's, a large seasonal population and they want to make sure that,
I don't think we did anything with that.
Yeah.
yeah,
We-
well,
we can
Because
do
they
it
didn't
this-
require,
yeah, well, I
they
think.
weren't requiring like 30 more houses a year.
Yeah. That's true.
And
Yeah.
all that stuff.
But I think we definitely want to
We-
do that because
we
they
can
pay
put people in
taxes.
to
and-
do that, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so,
That may be where the growth is, whether we like it or don't,
yeah,
or
Yeah,
not.
it's true.
I mean,
Yeah.
for housing.
yeah.
Mhm.
We know we're
Um,
getting older.
Okay, just to kind of finish, so, energy efficient, to identify, protect and preserve important natural and historic features. I think that's a no-brainer. Maintain and improve the quality of air, wildlife and land resources, okay? To make efficient use of energy, provide for the development of renewable energy resources. Again, I don't know how much impact the town of North Hero can have on that, but we'll address it. Maintain and enhance recreational opportunities. I mean, yeah, that's a good one. encourage and strengthen agricultural and forest industries. You know, I think that's easy enough to support.
Mhm.
Okay, and then, so go down to that bottom bit. Okay, so to ensure the availability of safe and affordable housing for all Vermonters, that's gonna be a tough one here.
Mhm.
But we recognize that up front, but we still need to address it. That's part of the requirement of the plan.
I mean, wouldn't we be looking to you all in the Northwest Regional Planning Group to be looking at that on a regional basis? I mean, is that how I'm thinking like the county of Grand Isle as a. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, so a new requirement for plans actually. So the state released state housing targets for each region, and then it's up to us as the
we've
regions to
seen
sort
them.
of break those out by town. Yeah, you guys have seen those. So now those housing targets for your town are required to be referenced in the town plan. And something I'll say with the housing chapter is like obviously the town has a limited role in what it can do, but I think the main focus of the town plan is ensuring that, on your side of things, that the town is doing all that it can to encourage housing and using the housing target as sort of a planning tool to envision like if this is the amount of units that we need in this time frame to do our part in addressing the housing crisis, then these are some of the things we might need to think about.
Yeah, I mean, as an example, we already allow for planned unit developments. I don't think there's been a lot of those built over the years, but we do.
Yeah, that's something we could really look
It
at.
maybe, yeah, take a harder look at that.
Absolutely, yeah.
So like C, how do you do that? Sites for multifamily and manufactured housing should be readily available in locations similar to those generally used for single-family conventional dwellings.
So I think
Every
like
house
that,
on this lake
Yeah.
was a
that would be
single
like
family.
looking at your land use plan, which informs your future zoning updates. I think that would be making sure that the land use plan you're proposing doesn't, if there are sites where multifamily and manufactured housing could go, making sure that you're not restricting that in your land use plan, in a way that would prevent that.
Yeah.
It all, that depends on the state and septic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, so.
Yeah,
It always comes back to
septic
septic.
and shoreland
Yeah.
protection is obviously a big thing that
that's
the state
septic
yeah,
and-
governs that we have to abide by. Okay,
Let me ask you this, Luke, these are the elements, and I looked at our old plan and we follow this pretty closely. Except for the new updates. Would you let us know on this? What are the new updates? Because I couldn't, I was trying to figure out, I know the energy you mentioned, right? It wouldn't be a bad thing for just letting us know the new updates that weren't part of the last planning
the
process.
things we need to
Yeah.
address that we didn't.
And
Yeah,
the second
so-
thing, can we go
Yep.
outside of these elements? These elements are what the state statute requires, but in a lot of municipal plans, they also do some other things that might not fit cleanly inside some of these. I'm trying to think of an example. Where would, let's say, a senior citizen, facility go? Where would that go in this plan? If you were trying to support your population and you wanted to create had a community center like this, and you wanted to create a senior citizen or a closed down school that you might want to convert to a senior facility because your population is 70% over 65 and retired. Where would that go inside of a plan like this?
Yeah, so that's a great point. So basically, these are like the baseline requirements that all plans have to have. And I think when we're updating your plan, like your existing plan addresses most of a majority of these. So this isn't the main thing that we'll be looking at when we're updating your plan. The focus of our plan update is going to be, you know, it addresses the state requirements, but is this also a useful document for your town and what your town's priorities are and what people think the town's priorities should be based on the outreach? Because yeah, these are the baseline requirements, but there's obviously the plan should be customized to the needs of the town, and anything extra that's a priority for the town should definitely go in here. And that's pretty much that's what the focus that's what the focus of this is all about. Since you already have a town plan and this is an update, it's making sure that it's relevant for the next 8 years based on what the town's priorities are right now. And then for the other piece, the sort of the new requirements that we have to make sure that we address, they're pretty minor. One of them is including a map of this. The state has mapped habitat blocks across the state. And so that's just something that has to be mapped and talked about in your plan now. So we could provide that map and discussion of that.
Kind of map,
Habitat of what? People?
what kind of map is that?
So it's basically looking at large contiguous blocks of forest habitat and that are important for, you know, the movement of wildlife, looking
Okay.
at yeah,
Oh,
looking at that. And I think those are generally smaller in the islands, but there's probably still at least one or two that are mapped in North
North
Carolina.
Carolina has a lot of places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would-
Yeah, we actually
I mean,
do.
we got, I think like, most of your farms are gonna, all the development rates have been sold, that would fall right under that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, North End State Park.
Yeah.
That they
Yeah.
don't even use.
Yeah.
I mean, we got acres of land that falls under that.
Yeah.
Yeah, hundreds of acres.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, so it's just stuff like that, sort of small things, but the majority of the update will be based on the town's priorities and not just meeting the minimum, since I think we're already in a good spot with that.
Good.
okay. Our next bullet point, the plan for, finance, and provide an efficient system of public facilities and services to meet future needs. I think, you know, for what the town is and what we have, I think we're in good shape there. I think, you know, I think the water department's in good shape for future requirements.
Yeah,
Obviously, we're building a new town garage and fire station, so
yeah.
that's looking toward the
I
future.
think, yeah, everything that the capital improvement committee's done.
Yeah.
They've done quite a lot.
Lot.
Exactly.
This
So,
to
yeah, I think
Identify priorities and.
we're in good shape on that one.
Yeah.
So then encourage flood resilient communities. Again, we've just completed or almost completed our hazard mitigation plan, so. And to equitably distribute environmental benefits and burdens. Okay,
That's it.
What?
yep,
Yep.
okay. So, yeah, so like I said, that's glad we took the time to at least go
Yeah.
through the big picture there, so we know
Yeah.
what we're up against. So Luke, just another couple more big picture items. As far as approval of the town plan, I was originally thinking town plans needed to be approved by the voters, but I guess that's not correct. It's the same as the development regulations. It's drafted by the planning commission and
So select.
turned over to the select board, and it's up to them to approve it.
Mhm.
Although I think they have the option to put it out to vote.
But you get the state to blame for that, cause they gave more.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I just
Yeah, but-
wanted to make,
They have to have hearings.
yeah, we have to have a hearing.
Yeah, but
at
the
least-
select board can make the choice to put it out before the vote.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, is that right,
Okay.
Luke? I mean,
Select board.
the select board
Yes.
just has the authority to approve it, but they do also have the option to put it out to the voters, correct?
Yeah, I do believe that that's correct.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good one. We could make that recommendation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I would think they would.
I
want
would think
people-
they would want it as
people to
well.
support
They didn't
it.
wanna do it with the.
So why didn't they do it with the
Bylaw
rewrite?
changes.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So
Okay.
That's
that's
true.
my whole point of
Yeah,
That's true.
no,
being a waste
I
of
get
time.
it, I get it. But,
Hmm.
Yeah, I will say that's not generally something that happens, like usually,
okay.
yeah.
So regardless if it's the select board or the voters that are approve it within the town, what approvals do we need beyond that? Does the state need to approve it? I know the Regional Planning Commission approves town plans, but I believe that's optional, right? That we
Yeah.
don't.
It is technically optional, but there are benefits that North Hero currently has from having an improved plan and an improved planning process. Um,
What are those?
Well, like getting this municipal planning grant
Oh,
was
okay.
Yep.
one of them, yeah.
So we already have
Yeah.
a process kind of.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
But
Yeah,
does the state need to approve it as well?
No, so basically we regionally approve it, and what we're looking at is that it meets all the state requirements. So once we regionally approve it, that's it. And since we're writing the plan, we'll make sure that it meets all the state requirements.
We have to have town lawyer look at it after it's done
Huh.
to make sure, so.
Yeah.
Probably not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Make sure
don't
we're
have
not-
liability.
Yeah,
Right.
But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah.
All right, well, we still got Luke. So, looking forward, Luke, so let's assume the, select board approves the contract at their next meeting. So
Mhm.
we're gonna really, I guess, look to kick off this process at our planning commission February meeting.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, so sorry, I didn't mean
No,
to
go
cut you.
ahead. So tell us how you see it, moving forward from there.
Yeah, so usually at the first kickoff meeting, we talk about what were sort of the key themes that were identified in the planning grant application that you want this update to focus on. We talked about the needs of seasonal residents and seniors and sort of adding to that list and seeing if there's anything else that should be a focus. And then
Okay.
also starting to plan out the schedule and the outreach, and talking about what you want the outreach to look at, to look like, and scheduling that out a little bit. So that'll be what we can talk about at the first meeting.
So,
I'll come to that meeting then with some of my ideas about the outreach.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
you all can,
In February?
yeah,
Okay.
so you can think about if that would, if that makes sense. or-
so just to
Or doesn't.
confirm then, so Luke, I guess I'm looking at you as being our facilitator, and so you're gonna be kind of running the meetings when we get
Yeah.
into but we'll obviously have a lot of input from the,
Mhm.
planning commission, so, okay. Just want to make sure that's clear.
So.
Yeah. So I'll
And-
bring like a memo, and that'll sort of be the guide for the discussion, and
Good.
facilitating
Yep.
that.
So when I came on the planning commission, it was really the tail end of the last last plan. So I really was at the end of it. It was just kind of it's probably wrapped up. So I really was not part of the last plan. But we will definitely have two new members of this planning commission. And the vote is in March.
And
So.
one of the, potential members is right here.
Right.
Welcome, Jeff.
Yeah, and it kind of made me think, so would it be worth our while to initiate things when they're on board? Or,
Ooh, yeah, maybe wait till March before we.
Yeah.
We have plenty of time. That's
We
a
have
good
time.
idea.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys do have a lot of time, and that could be helpful because that's
that
also
way you could
something.
start fresh with us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd hate to have Bobby not be a part of it, but.
Bobby might just come volunteer extra time or serve on the Northwest Planning.
I think.
No.
yeah, okay, no,
Good.
perfect.
So March, Luke.
Yeah, March will be our kickoff then.
Okay. That sounds good.
All right. Anything else for Luke while he's here? Well, we thank you, Luke. Really appreciate it and look forward to working with you over the next couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. Thanks for
All right.
having me.
Thanks, Luke.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. All right. By the way, you got here a few minutes later. People, this is Jeff Van den Noort, and we very common face at some of our hearings and common voice. So welcome.
I guess I'm running. No. Is anybody running?
No,
It's just you.
You and Jan Peterson
Jan Peterson.
for the two open seats.
Two opens, yeah.
Okay.
And then George is running for reelection.
Yeah.
Opposed, so.
Oh, I could still lose, but we'll.
Yeah. There could be a
Well-
groundswell for Bobby, a write-in groundswell.
When I ran the first time, I won by 5 votes and I immediately declared a landslide victory. So, Okay, so, next item is the ZA report, and it's a long one today.
Yep,
Ooh,
And,
it's a long one.
that's it. Wow.
yeah, well, you guys can ask questions. I think a lot of it's taken up by the property over on Station Road, and
Well, the reason why it's so long is because I was asked to include all the supporting documentation instead of just putting the permit applications in there.
yeah.
So that's why they're so long.
I think I asked for those.
Get what you're asking for.
I felt bad when I saw
Twice as
it.
long because November and
But-
December are in there.
Yeah, you
So
had
that
that.
makes it look-
But
I appreciate how much
No
stuff you
problem.
put in
Yeah.
there.
No problem.
But that's kind of a complicated situation. Maybe you can just kind of give us a brief recap of what's going on there and where it stands.
Oh, station,
Because they've had, what, 2 or 3 DRB hearings.
yeah, 3.
They've got approval on one part and,
Yep, so they came to the DRB, I think in September. They got an amendment to their existing conditional use approval to do, it was for storage. It was boat storage previously with the previous owner. And he wants to continue boat storage there. And he also asked for light industry, so like light manufacturing in one of the buildings that was turned down, that wasn't included in the original decision. They denied that. So they told him to come back with a better application, more thought out, approach. So they waived the fee, obviously, because they were requiring him to return. So he returned with an updated plan for that, and that was approved. So he's having a builder, Cedar Ledge Builders is going in there in one building to do some manufacturing in there. And then the third application was for a setback waiver for him to store boats within the setback along the property line that he shares with the state, so the eastern property line. Not the whole thing,
Right.
just 130 feet long. And that was denied. And the reason that was denied was because the DRB got stuck in this continuous loop of setback waiver being required for structures. And since this wasn't a structure, it was a land use. Could they approve a setback waiver? Section 5.2 does give them the power to administratively approve that under a setback waiver, but section 7.10 kind of says the opposite. And so it was very unclear to them to interpret the bylaw in a way that they could allow him to do that. So I think that they're gonna come up with some kind of language to present to you guys, maybe to include in the bylaws to make that a little clearer.
To amend the bylaw,
Mm-hmm.
so flexibility. So they were not approved to store boats in a section of one of the buildings, is that?
This in the
Outside.
setback.
Yeah, outside.
Outdoors.
outside within 25
The
feet.
building and the.
Oh, so it's within that, and so it's within the 25.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Ah,
And so
And it-
because it's not a structure, the setback waiver arguably doesn't apply. But it's more of a land use,
Use.
but the question was whether or not setback
Yeah.
waiver applies to land use or structure only.
So the unfortunate thing, it sounds like it would be a pretty simple clarification
To
for
me,
us.
it'd be just for the building. But
But in any event, if
someone wants to
even,
park a boat down through there, that's like you parking a boat in your yard
yeah.
next to the line.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
And the
mean,
state
yeah,
certainly
yeah.
not gonna say.
Stating.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
my point is, so that sounds like it would be a pretty minor clarification if we look at it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we gotta go through the whole same process. We just went through public hearing,
Hang on.
it goes to the select
Yeah,
board.
don't let's, yeah.
Yeah, so
How
anyway,
many people are gonna come to you and ask to do that?
None.
This is probably a once in a
yeah.
blue moon thing.
That's true.
You can't give them a special
Ah,
waiver.
The DRB could have
They
given them a
denied it.
waiver,
In
chose
my-
not to.
In my opinion, as the ZA, that was what a setback waiver is there for, is
Yeah.
for the DRB to have that ability to
to say-
apply that. I think
Right.
they just could not
And-
determine if they did have that power because it was only a land use and not a structure. And I think that's where they got.
And it was not a unanimous vote by the DRB.
It was not unanimous.
right.
It actually was, I think it was 7-1.
Oh, okay,
6-1.
well, all right, close then.
But
Yeah.
never mind. I
Yeah,
don't know if I
well,
can say
okay,
that.
yeah, so anyway, we may be asked to take a look at that at some point in the future. Okay, I just, thanks for.
Is it something we can look at, clarify it for them, how we feel?
You
That
can
means-
review it. Yeah, absolutely. I can provide the decision to you.
Not have to go through a whole bylaw change?
Well,
and say, this is what I feel.
I guess there's nothing wrong with us offering an opinion. but
They offer their
it's
opinion
not-
to us, why can't we?
Right.
offer our
yeah, I don't know if
opinion
it'll
to
change
them?
how
How
they,
we feel
Because
means.
they already moved forward with
well,
the
they
decision.
already, well, I mean, he can appeal it or he can come back and apply for something new.
Oh,
okay.
He can always submit another application for setback waiver and argue maybe with a point that.
Yeah,
Your planning
PC
commission
has-
says da.
Right,
but again, it's just an opinion that that's all we could offer,
Yeah,
and
that's
whatever
right.
he offered would not be
Right.
binding, but.
What is the guy's name owns that, Bobby?
He's down in
Yeah.
Grand
Lucas,
I actually bring my boat to
Services, Lucas Campbell.
Green Mountain
They
Marine.
bought all that?
Yeah, he has that land and he has in Grand Isle too.
yeah, and then, well, now he shares space with United, the auto,
Yeah.
garage.
Highland Auto Havens.
He's renting out a portion of that.
I mean, it is
They also
part
have
of our
another-
town plan. We wanna
Yeah,
Business.
create
I mean,
conditions
there you
for
go. If you want-
businesses.
Don't deny businesses.
Yeah,
I
that,
know,
Well,
I mean,
that's good.
this is a good example of, we gotta kinda,
Would you ask
They
him
shouldn't
to
charge
come
Tax space.
yeah.
and talk to us, or how would you?
he's been to, that poor guy's been to
Can you
meetings
email
already.
The denials of.
I'll
what
send you
they-
the decision.
Yeah, why don't you
They're
do
on the
that?
website.
Differences.
Oh.
They're on the
Just email
website.
it to me. It'll be easier.
Yeah.
What
they're right on-
they were questioning.
Yeah.
The two different,
Yeah.
and I'd like to read it for myself.
Yeah. Okay.
See how I feel about it, what I think,
Yeah.
because, I mean, I wouldn't wanna restrict a
So is
business.
this gentleman going forward with his business there?
Yeah,
He is gonna go forward anyway.
yeah, he already
So-
bought it. He's already,
Okay, so.
he's been
So
approved for
he's
that
not
conditional
going to
use.
be able to store, I don't know what.
Well, you're still gonna store a bunch of boats, just.
You could do anything inside.
Right, no, I understand, but
It's just to the
he's,
outside.
to the outside,
I'll bet
he's
it's
missing,
even 20. So these are probably his own boats, right? That he-
No,
Oh,
no,
no, he's got a pretty thriving business.
Yeah.
Well, I know he does.
yeah, they do a lot of things. They,
He can also,
Quite a,
at like, I was just trying to do the math,
$1,000
pop,
$1,000 a year for storage.
pay his
he
electricity.
can also store stuff outdoors now on the property, just not in that setback.
and he has to put a screen,
Oh.
like a cedar hedge or something along the road.
I mean, he could do some alternative things.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just that one setback area in
Yeah.
question.
It's always been a boat storage area.
then, yeah,
Until it was a crane, yeah.
So it's-
They still stored boats.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
setback,
Right,
the
but
setback is right against the what? The state?
The state, yeah. I know,
It's not even residential.
yeah.
not very friendly,
It's all commercial land,
right,
Yeah.
even where the boat thing is.
right.
Yeah, okay. Well, anyway, thanks for that update. Does anybody have anything else on the
What are we
ZA
gonna do
report?
about it?
Well,
What are we gonna do about that?
we don't have the power to do anything about
We
it,
don't have power to.
other than,
I'd like to just read it and see how I
Yeah.
feel.
I mean, what we can do is update the regulations, go through the whole
Okay.
process again
Right, right, right.
and through the select
Or we
board.
can
we can
tell.
also-
But I-
We
how
can make a
felt.
recommendation.
I think we can offer an opinion. so,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they offer their opinion to us
Right.
about
Yeah.
how we do ours.
so, okay, we'll,
Yeah, if you
yeah,
could-
get that out and, I'll put that on the agenda for next month.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Anyway, anything else on the ZA report? I appreciate the update there.
No problem. In November and December, there were a few DRB decisions in there, at least one of them. I think two of them were Lucas's.
Yeah.
And then obviously it's slow because it's, cold times, but I had 2 building permits in November. 1 building permit in December and 1 building permit renewal. And then in November, I had 2 certificates of compliance for house sales. 1 in December and then 1 certificate of occupancy for an ADU. So I went out and checked that out, or actually did the site visit before I issued the CO.
Good.
And then complaints, any,
I have one complaint. It's not a big deal, but it's not the type of weather where I can really tell whether a driveway is meeting setback distances. I can't tell. It's seasonal. It's covered in snow. I'm not gonna dig in this people's property. I have dealt with a very long complaint, an ongoing complaint with new things popping up from a person up on Holiday Point regarding a DRB decision that was handed down over the summer. And that just keeps popping up and I keep telling that person why it's, this is within our regulations, there's no violation and more things just keep popping up. So I'm just sort of dealing with those one by one as they come along, but no official violations, but
Right.
it's just like never ending.
It's the driveway component. How long's the driveway been in?
They put it in sometime in the summer, I believe.
This past summer?
Yep. And like, I've heard some hearsay about like, they knew about the setbacks and they didn't care. I've heard they didn't know. But I can't see it, so there's no way I can tell you
Like
till I
short
can
house?
actually see it. Yeah.
Hmm.
So the complaint is that the drainage from that new driveway is going into the other person's property and making puddles, so. Also, I can't see that, so I have to
Right.
just wait till.
Yeah.
it gets warmer. Yeah,
Yeah, you're gonna see puddles all over this spring.
right. So
Okay,
that's ongoing, but it's not like
Yeah.
it's not like a heated thing. And that's it.
okay. All right. I think, future business, well, we got plenty of future business, yeah. Town plan, and then like I said, I'll definitely add on to the agenda, offering an opinion on the, Station Road property after we see the decision, get a chance to review it. Anybody got any announcements? Okay, so, looking for that final motion.
Well, yeah, I've been in a while. I've been in school.
She's got manners now.
Make motion that we adjourn.
Second?
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, meeting's adjourned at, 8:47.
7:46.
That's, 7, yeah.
Holy shit, that's not bad.
No,